Welcome to the video, guys. The complete and utter joke, that is, the Metropolitan Police farce continues, of course led by Sadiq Khan and Cressida Dick. Between this pair of prize-winning prats, they have turned London and its police force into the laughing stock of the world, I think you would all agree. Take a look at what's been happening over the past few weeks, with the mayor himself promoting this and that, alongside the Met Police Chief, while condemning others for doing essentially the same thing, and showing the world their double standards when it comes to different groups of people. But that is not the point of this video, because in Brixton last night we had some serious commotion that has resulted in 15 police officers being injured, cars being smashed up, and reports of various weapons being used, not only against the police but also against other party goers. A similar thing occurred just the other day up in Manchester, if memory serves, and the police once again struggled to deal with that because there is too many people. Now obviously this begs the question as to why the police don't have water cannons. They would be able to sort this nonsense out in about 5 minutes and no one would get hurt. Well, no one from the police side anyway, which is what really matters. At the end of the day, every time a police officer gets injured, it costs us thousands of pounds, so we need to prevent that at all costs, if you ask me. I'm sure most of you have seen the reports that says officer stubbed his toe, gets 15 grand in compensation or some nonsense like that. Now, before I get into the video, I have joined the new free speech version of Twitter, which is called Parler and will be linked in the description. A lot of people are moving from Twitter to the new Parler app, which is available on Android and iOS. So if you don't like Twitter or have been banned from there, be sure to follow me on Parler. Now, let's get on with the video. Well anyway, eventually, at about 9:30 this morning, Sky News decided to report on this: 15 officers injured and police car smashed up after street party. 15 officers have been injured and police cars smashed up during significant disorder following a street party in Brixton overnight. Footage on social media showed a line of police retreating from crowds of people on Cecilia Road near the Angel Town estate in Brixton, which, let me tell you, is not a very nice estate, that has to be said. Bottles were thrown at the officers, and in one video, a man appeared to be brandishing a long sword at the officers. Where are the armed police with guns out there to come and take this guy into custody and likely scare the rest of them off? But I suppose that might require the mayor and the chief of the Metropolitan Police to actually grow a spine, which we can't really expect them to do, can we? Two men could be seen on top of a police vehicle smashing in the window screen with a large object and their feet. Another two men were seen carrying a large wooden table before placing it on the floor and ripping the legs off. Police were called to the scene on Wednesday evening to reports of a large unlicensed street party and tried to encourage the crowd to leave, as large gatherings are not allowed due to the coronavirus lockdown, but they did not engage with police, a Met Police statement said. Well, I'm sorry to say that Sadiq Khan has helped to embolden this sort of behaviour, though if I am honest, it used to happen anyway. There has been various reports over the years of street parties being broken up and turning into violence, both against the police and against the party goers themselves. The problem with our police force is, if you get a large group of people and they're not called right-wing by the mayor, then the police have to take a very pussy-footed approach to it, as we all know. If it's a bunch of guys that they can call far-right or right-wing or something to do with someone else that they don't like, then it's all fine to go in full riot gear and start taking people down, clumping them with batons and all sorts of crap, as we know. Take a look at what we see a couple of weeks ago from the double standard of policing from one weekend to the next. When you have a mayor like the snivelling shitweasel Sadiq Khan, this is the sort of thing you can expect to happen and continue to happen on a regular. It's okay for you to go and gather in London for this virtue signalling nonsense that is not even relevant to the UK, but it's not okay for you to stand there and defend statues or fly banners through the air, apparently, in this country, according to the old bill, and of course the mayor, political parties, and not forgetting the media. It continues. More officers then came down and the group became hostile towards them, and despite a dispersal zone order being granted, the crowd remained. Yeah, because they don't give a shit about your stupid order. None of the officers were seriously injured, but two required hospital treatment. Well, if two require hospital treatment, I would consider that fairly seriously injured. I don't know about you. 4 people were arrested for assault and public order offences and remain in police custody. Now, from what I have seen of the pictures and from the clips I have seen readily available on Twitter, they should be arresting about 100 people. The crowd eventually left in the early hours of Thursday, and police are now carrying out stop and search orders in the area to prevent violence. The statement said, well, if they've already left, why are the police doing that? People have already gone home, you complete and utter morons. And that is the end of the article there. Once again, I feel I have to say, this is all thanks to Sadiq Khan and Cressida Dick, in my opinion. Yes, things like this used to happen before, but the way they have acted in recent weeks has only emboldened people to act like this towards our police force. And as you can see there, by the police that have arrived, they are not riot police, they are just your average police officers in standard police dress. Where is the full riot gear, the police horses, and the rest of it to run through this crowd of dickheads and deal with them just like that, saving the need for 15 officers to be injured? If you go there mob-handed as you did a few weeks ago during your display of double standard policing, then this situation doesn't occur and those motherfuckers all go running home because they know they might get the shit kicked out of them. And here we have a couple of videos of the people destroying the police car, you know, the sort of thing that Sadiq Khan clearly promotes. It actually took him until about half 10 this morning to actually say something about this matter, so more than 9 hours after it had occurred. And as we can see here, as I am recording, the number has been revised up to 22 officers injured, not the 15 as was reported in the previous article I was looking at, which we will have a quick look through to see if anything has changed. It probably hasn't. Police were called by concerned residents to the illegal street party, but were met by a hostile crowd. What do you expect? After the police had gone, footage showed some of the crowd fighting each other. Yeah, because that is the real reason, I believe, the police were actually called. Apparently, someone had decided to share knife culture with someone else, and the police were called for that. I don't know if this is true, I haven't been able to verify it, and the media are not reporting on it, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen, obviously. Home Secretary Priti Patel called the incident vile. She tweeted, "These are utterly vile scenes. Just last weekend, the whole country came together to praise our heroic police officers for putting their own lives on the line to keep us safe. No, some people praised them, other people didn't. Let me tell you that. I'll be picking up with the Met Commissioner immediately. Yeah, you should pick up with them and get them sacked, because at the end of the day, they have allowed this to happen." As I said, Mayor Sadiq Khan finally said something this morning. I'm in touch with the Met about the completely unacceptable events in Brixton overnight. Violence against the police will not be tolerated. Large gatherings during coronavirus are deeply irresponsible and risk others' lives. Well, you shouldn't have been promoting them for the last 3 weeks then, you snivelling shitweasel. And the rest of it is just a load of old nonsense. Now, before I go, as I said at the beginning, some woman who was actually recording this is being called out on Twitter as a grass for obviously capturing it on video so the police can arrest these people down the line. As you can see here on Twitter, Claire 419er single-handedly got about 50 people bagged from snapping. Here's another one. If your face was in Claire 419er's story, then good luck. Claire 419er running through the streets of Brixton on Snapchat whilst also being a paramedic, reporter and snitch. The salt from these people, because this shit show has been captured on camera and the police will be able to prosecute them, is fucking hilarious. And here is probably one of the funnier ones. I'm going to tell my kids it was Claire 419er. Apparently she was running through the streets capturing video in various different Snapchat lives. I don't use Snapchat, so I can't get them for you, and I never want to touch the Snapchat app, so I'm not downloading it to do so. End of story. But you get the point of this video. The police are a complete farce, led by the London Mayor Sadiq Khan and Cressida Dick, both of which are completely incompetent and should lose their jobs immediately. Now, as always, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who supports the channel, and my other social media links are down in the video description if you want to come and support me on Twitter, BitChute and a variety of other platforms, including my second YouTube channel. As I said, all links are down in the video description.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.